good, bro. Just say you can't answer the question.
And probably
you can't answer the question.
Skateboard to his job.
Yeah, cool. You can't answer the question, right? Or you won't. You refuse to, right?
You're destroying the conversation. We were having a deep.
No, nigga, you talking about dumb shit. What are you talking about?
I don't dumb shit according to who? The security guard, nigga.
Okay, cool. So every time you respond to me, it's an ad hominem. You know that, right?
You're screaming, this is dumb, but yet you're the one coming off the mic.
I'm asking you, what are your policy prescriptions? That's not an ad hominem.
Hey, Dominic, why would I have any policies that I want implemented and I have no power? Remember, I just said to
I didn't ask you that. Nigga, you don't need to have power to want to implement policy prescriptions.
So what the fuck are we talking about then?
I'm asking you, what do you want implemented? It's not that hard, bro. It's not that hard concept.
I literally just told you what I want implemented. I want massive execution for any of these young dumb niggas who security guard.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Now you don't like my policies.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. That shit's fucking.
Dominic, just take the L. Wrap it up.
You don't like my policies now. I don't understand. You wanted to hear my policies. Now here they are.
You want to kill people you don't agree with.
I think there should be mass graves dug out for you young people.
Yeah, kill off. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm still young. I can make some more kids. We can fix this shit. It's an easy fix. We can get rid of these dumb ass niggas and then start over fresh.
Okay, so
millennials can save the day.
Should I line with policy line? Thank you.
We gotta get rid of these young dumbass niggas. I think that we need to have like a mass execution for niggas who wear skinny jeans, put the little weird colorful shit in their hair, and say the dumbest shit while getting high off fentanyl.
See, this is why I voted for Lion, because when presented with a tough question, Concrete won't go to, rage bait, right? But theatrical is something where, it's a little bit different. Lion is theatrical here, right? What's the policy, Lion?
Well, the policy is that we get rid of niggas like you.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Look, I hate to say this, man, but you just lost to Little Nas X over here, man. That's great.
That's a W for Tom. That's a W for Tom. Fuck out of here.
Of course.
Fuck out of here.
That was funny, pal.
As long as Lion get packed up.
Hey, hold on. Of course, this little neon driving motherfucker with a lace front will say that this weird faggot that wears crazy.
You still didn't answer the question,
by the way. The goddamn argument. Shut your bitch ass up, nigga. Both of you. Just
still didn't answer the question.
We were having a decent conversation.
No, y'all wasn't.
You said a lot of little Hawaiians
out. We're talking about bullshit, man.
Until you wanted to personalize this. This had nothing
to do with... I didn't personalize nothing.
You did. You said lion.
You said
lion. What? That's personalizing you.
Okay, I'll concede that. Yes. I did ask you specifically, yes.
Thank you. So why are you arguing? You're wrong. Nigga,
y'all gonna learn not to argue with Dominic. One day.
This nigga is retarded.
Can y'all hear me?
Oh, speaking of White Devil, what's up, Andrew?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. We can hear you.
What's up, buddy?
I just wanted to say that within the past couple of days, Dominic, you were rated one of the worst debaters in chillism. I think it's fair to say that today you've earned the right to be taken off that list because you've been whipping ass all fucking day.
Say it louder. Say it louder for the people in the back.
Concrete to Lion. I'm not gonna lie, man. You've been putting belt to ass, my guy.
Oh, you're doing exactly that. You are lying.
Who's changed style? I don't know. We're gonna have to revisit them lists. That's all I wanted to say.
It's good.
What's going on? Dominic just admitted to being wrong.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Lion said don't personalize it. You said I didn't personalize it. Lion said you brought me up. He's like, oh yeah, my bad.
Oh yeah.
Concrete, stop. Stop reaching for. Stop reaching.
So what I'm saying is, you just admitted to being wrong, and she just crowned you the debate king.
Okay.
And that seems a little weird.
Concrete. Let me explain why you're wrong again. Let me explain why you're wrong again.
Wrong that she just crowned you the debate king, and you were wrong.
Calm down.
What am I wrong about, Dominic?
You're wrong. You're wrong because
What am I wrong about?
Nigga, can I get my fucking...
Say what I'm wrong about.
Fuck, nigga. God damn.
Stop lying. Say what I'm wrong about.
It's drinking.
Can I get my third word out before you
want to call that home?
Oh, you dodging. You dodging.
Oh, shit. Okay, so I admitted that I did say...
What am I wrong about?
I admit... Oh, okay. I'm gonna just drop it, bro. Okay, take the W, bro. You got it.
Of course.
Because as long as you interrupt, then you're gonna be right. Go ahead.
What am I wrong about? Answer that question.
Look, you actually ran off the new guys in the room with all that stupidity, Dominic. Honestly, it doesn't even make any sense. You didn't even have to do any of that.
Yes, he did. This is dumb.
Yeah, so the nigga that y'all let bloviate and monologue for like how long? Like 5
And what are you doing? What exactly are you?
I'm not monologuing. I never made a monologue ever.
Fucking God.
Oh my fucking God, nigga, I'm right, ain't I?
No.
Have I ever made a monologue?
All you kept doing was interrupting, interfering. You're destroying.
I didn't interrupt. I let that nigga speak.
You're like a young child to hear adult talking, and all of a sudden you want to just put yourself into the conversation.
Yeah. So when I interject facts, against the claims that y'all niggas make, that means I'm fucking interrupting. Like what do you call that?
No, Art. So what you just did now was you want to refer back to when you read something off of, I don't know, some email thing, and you thought that your position was going to be so sound that you were going to defeat the other guy's point. Then he turns around and says, "Hey, listen, we're talking about 2025, August 11th, no murders," and then you went to 2023 as if you were making a point. You lost.
But no, I mean, he had a video of him getting, bent over by the Jewish people, the Jewish rabbi. So.
Wait, what? This escalated.
You didn't see the video? Yeah, Barissa, I put the video in the chat. Now he's chained up. You didn't see that video? Let me put it in again.
I don't even want to see that, to be honest. That's crazy.
We got an anonymous account now on there.
I posted in the chat. Please check it out.
Alright, fuck it. I'm going to click on it. I'll have a little look.
Check it out.
Your room's being recorded now, Amir.
Oh, yeah. This Aiden character. I don't know why El Normo doesn't want to come in. He comes in with the Aiden account as well.
No, you know who really records the room is that fool admins.
Yeah, John Kitover. His real name is John Kitover?
Yeah, he's trying to run for senator of some district or something like that.
Do you know that's why Pepe and this douchebag from Healthy Debates got into a fight? And that's why Pepe doxed a whole bunch of these psychopaths. El Normo got doxed. You got the, what's his name? Mojo, the guy, Roger Mayhem, he got doxed from Healthy Debates. JB got kind of doxed as well with a catch-a-con because, he used to pimp out women.
Oh, yeah, good.
Oh my God,
Normal deserve it.
Sending me this video.
What did you say, Barissa?
I said I hate you for showing me this video.
Did you like it?
No, I hate you for it.
Okay, do you want to see a South Park parody where Netanyahu spanks a black rabbi?
What? Where'd you guys
Let me put it. My Rumble channel is exclusive. Nobody has this.
The old timers come there for. Maybe Southerners.
There you go.
I'm not gonna lie.
Check out the South Park clip. You guys watch South Park? Watch it. Watch the South Park. How he gets spanked by nothing.
I'm not gonna lie, Parisa. Shout out to the Persians, man. I used to when I used to smoke hookah, I used to go to the Persian hookah lounge.
Yo, live. Awesome. Were they nice? Were they hospitable?
Oh, of course. I met Persians of all different backgrounds. I met Persian Jews, Persian Muslims, Persian Christians, and they all was cool.
Yeah, man. They're kind people.
You can't hang around Persians and not expect to get treated like family and eat.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean?
But stay away from the Zio ones, though.
Oh, we have Parisa. By the way, we have Bruce on this app. He claims to be Persian Jew, but he's a Pahlavi supporter, and he's a Islamophobic piece of shit.
Why are they Islamophobic?
Let me see if I can bring Samson. Can you ping your buddy in, Bruce? Annoying as hell.
Here?
No, he's not here, but he came in early in the morning and then he left. I think Samson follows him.
Oh my god, they all hate me. They all think I'm like some mullah's daughter or something.
And Carissa, by the way, when I'm done with this whole, inshallah, when they get the state or whatever, I'm moving on to the Raza Pahlavi supporters. I'm going to attack them.
I love how
Destroy them.
I love how she says they probably think I'm some mullah's daughter.
They do. They listen, because for them, they just can't conceive that someone in the West that's Iranian is Muslim, right? They cannot, their paradigm does not allow for that, right? So automatically I have to be some like IR agent, yeah?
Exactly.
Like
I'm with you on that one. They think I'm some Talib's daughter. And I said, I wish I was a Talib's daughter. Being a Talib is all knowledge. I don't think I'm there yet, but inshallah one day.
Inshallah. These people, man, they just can't accept anything that like contradicts their narratives that they create in their head. The Islamophobia, there's absolutely no reason for it either. Like, it's so, like, I don't know, it's irrational.
So just tell them that you don't want to be in miniskirts, and they will start crying. They'll start yelling. They'll start cursing your mom and dad out. The minute you.
It's not even that. Like, I obviously don't even like. I dress in Western clothing, right? It's like like their hatred for Islam, right, has no solid like reasoning behind it. Do you know what I mean? They hate the government, fair enough, okay? If the government has abused certain things in any way, which I'm not even qualified to speak on, right? But like, if people got a problem with that, why would you not just take it out on the government? They act like Islam is new to Iran, like it just came in the past 50 years. For 1,400 years it's been in Iran. 1,400. In fact, yeah, a lot of like the theology and like the philosophy as well, right, is down to Persian scholars. So instead of like being proud of that and claiming that, they try to disassociate and detach from it. For what reason, I don't know. But they do really act like Islam just came to Iran, like, in 79, you know? It's ridiculous.
Reese, I have a question, since you're from Iran. When, in 1979, when, the Islamic Revolution came, how long did it take women's school to get back on their feet? Because from what I read was 10 years, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
I'm not the best person to speak on that. I think maybe G, if he's still in the room, because G, are you in Iran?
Yes, very soon when things went together, and they were very supportive. As a matter of fact, now there's a lot more women than men, even they're highly educated. The numbers could be 2 to 1 even. The women in Iran are really, really highly educated.
Yeah, because I heard it took about 10 years for like the government schooling, just like in Afghanistan. There's no government schools, but there are private schools. But I'm actually working with a group of women in Afghanistan that were working on their like uniforms and stuff. But I know Iran took time for women to go back to school, government education.
It didn't take that long. First of all, when as soon as the government did change, it was a revolution. Saddam took advantage. Saddam, if you guys remember Saddam, the neighbor in Iraq, Saddam Hussein took a very support from the Western, and they prepared him to attack Iran. They thought that Iran is in a very bad situation. It's a perfect opportunity for the Saddam Iraq to take over the part of the Iran that always they wanted. So Iran, sadly, from the Iraq got invaded, initiated, and it took a good 7-8 years that defend for Iran and attack from the Iraq. So that put some stuff in back behind, because the country wasn't really prepared. It was just everything was in the change, and you should think that everything when it gets changed, there's no professors or some left, some stayed, some escaped, and Mujahideen and everybody, they were killing. As soon as they see a picture of Ayatollah Khomeini or here and there, a picture of the new flag or anything, they would come and kill. Everything was in a chaos, kind of, not in a serious, but it was a very dangerous momentum during that time. Every group of these terrorists was active in Iran. And as a matter of fact, there is right now is a short TV. It's a bunch of episodes that already came out. It goes back, it shows the back in the days what Iran was on this this Mujahideen and the rest of the gang groups. It was the
going back to the nigga? She said she was the second person she ever had sex with. She had one body till she met this dude. They had sex raw. He ejaculated in. I'm trying to figure out the illegal part because people blow me up. There's nothing illegal other than if they find enough people, they could probably be charged with something like I don't know if there's a law against it, but basically enticing people like a workplace harassment thing. A music business operating that's like if I start a cleaning company and then you come to work for me and I don't have no cleaning jobs, I'm just like, yo, it's time to fuck. You know, it's just there's something to that. You know what I'm saying?
Who the fuck is niggas talking about?
Some nigga, I don't know. They've been blowing me up about doing this room, so I'm trying to.
They talking about be rich, be rich.
Who's the nigga? I don't even know. Do anybody
That
know him?
nigga name, I don't know. I'm a PTR.
I don't think it's a bad
PTR the picture of the nigga. What's his name?
Oh, hey,
What's that, bro? What's going on?
Honestly, I don't know enough about it. I just know of two girls and a pattern of the two. But if you're doing it with 18, basically in Atlanta, man, these people want to be celebrities, man. And people come into town. And that's why, like, the dude Cashing Out got locked up because he wasn't just pimping. He was basically telling these girls you could do music. So it's the music element that really kind of throws it off. The enticement for something, but then you switch.
PTR.
That's the catch.
Hold on.
Somebody told me he white. They're like a black dude.
Nah, he mix. He like me. Yeah, he mix. But
he literally looked like me, but a nigga.
The reason why they were saying this shit was illegal. The reason why they were saying this shit was illegal is because she was 17 on the app. He tried to get with her and talk to her. Everybody was like, yo, don't do that because she a young kid type shit. And then what happened is when she turned...
The people who wrote about him.
Yeah, you know, you only got to be 12 to download this app.
What?
So they banished her, though. You hear me, Lou? They banished her from my side. When niggas found out, because she was saying she was 19. So what niggas did is they put up a profile up there. Everybody blocked her. And then she had to make like burdens and shit. But when she turned 18, she sent Wolf her birth certificate. And that's how then niggas end up being around her in the first place. And then fucking B Rich told Shorty, come to Atlanta. He gonna work with her, do all this. But this has been a couple of times though. She done flew to New York to see the nigga, see him in Atlanta, a couple places. She said she's still gonna throw the pussy on him, so, you know.
It sounds like a sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship that y'all promote.
Nah, it's the coercion. Wait,
did he pay her for some pussy or?
Nah, it's like on some quick pro quo shit. So she asked a nigga for $20.
The job, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So when niggas ask like, oh, what's the situation? He's like, illegal. Yeah, he's telling her like, yo, I can get you here and take you here. And then when what happened is she went down to the crib in Atlanta, stayed the night with the nigga. He was like, yo, the only way you can stay the night here is if you sleep in my bed. That's the only rule in my house. So when she got out the shower, he was like, oh, I swear to God, they just all on recording.
Wait, should we, is it smart to post her pictures though?
That shit,
we don't really know her.
No, that shit don't matter. She 18. She 18.
I know,
she
a victim in the situation, so.
She ain't no victim.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't hear it. I'm trying to walk it down because I'm kind of confused. Like,
no,
I don't think she's so much like. She would have been a victim if he would have did what she was saying.
But look, like this is a old nigga that's messing with some young pussy, and he fly her out. A lot of niggas fly women out. He probably expects some pussy.
But y'all saying he masking it under like
No. He groom younger bitches and give them fake opportunities. That's what they trying to say. This not like the only chick.
Well, one of the problems was she had a one-way ticket, and what she told the room was, "I fucked him the first time because I wanted to make sure I could get home." That was
coercion. Yeah.
All right, somebody just sent me the nigga Instagram. Hold on. This a white boy, man. What the fuck?
Well, we call him a white boy in the trenches. They call murder a white boy. If you light skin on Clubhouse, you're a white boy. That's
Today I saw that video. He's not white.
He look like Pepe. Like, what the fuck y'all mean?
He's darker than Pepe.
All right,
his nose different than Pepe.
Oh, so then another factor was, so when the girl woke up,
people block, man, because we got people pulling up.
So, and I'm not trying to throw B Rich under the bus. I don't really know the nigga, but he had a machine gun. He had a machine gun in the bed, and everybody thought that was added to the coercion. Because like, why you had a AK-47 on the bed? The little girl said, "I thought it was fake."
Cordell, what up, gang? I'm trying to figure out where's the illegal part at. Because I understand the quid pro quo. That's the civil suit. Because if you fly people out under disguise of working with them in business, and then I'm trying to figure out.
That's the only illegal part that could be potentially illegal. That's the only thing.
Grooming is not illegal. You can groom a 30-year-old. Is grooming illegal? Am I tripping?
Nah, it's not illegal, but it's frowned upon.
Yeah, because I don't want to put nothing on the dude.
Wack kind of cleared it up because in Georgia the age of consent is 16. I think it's 17 in New York.
Listen,
and so Wack's argument was
Listen, what they mixing up, gang, is they mixing up like the nigga being a creep from being a rapist. She 18, so it's not rape. It's not rape. He just hell of a creep for fucking with a kid. He 52, 54, whatever the fuck he is, fucking with 18-year-old. That shit just extra creepy. But we done seen it before, so I guess you know how that shit go.
Well, it's bad business.
We live in a society where a lot of women promote sugar daddy culture. So the sugar daddies don't be young; they be old. So I mean,
right? But it's bad business because if you go with a sugar daddy, it's an arrangement.
Is it for sure? Wait. Is it for sure? Because I'm trying to figure out outside of word of mouth, has it been confirmed that he told them it was just strictly business, or is this what the narrative is?
Yeah, well, Paris put a contract signing on the internet. I seen it a long time ago. Paris was in a contract with this dude.
Oh, you talking about Paris?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
They talking about Trimmy, but this.
No, Paris fucked them too.
Man, what up?
But Paris grown as hell, man.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not about the age.
I think that's a different situation.
Nah, it's about
Paris like 26 years old.
But it's not.
Yeah, you
Paris fucked them for music.
That don't count.
It's fucking people with the promise of music.
Nah, that don't count though, cause bitches gonna get fucked in the music industry. Some bitches just be around to just get fucked.
Bro, if you work for a company and you do business with a company, and your boss says, "Yo, if you don't fuck me, you're fired." That's not how.
Yeah, that's not how it works. That's coercion.
Wait, I'm trying to. All right, wait. So let's just walk this down. So, because I don't want to put nothing on no dude
make an allegation
that I don't know, and I don't want to put. All right. So, is there any confirmed facts of anything illegal? Because I don't want to put shit on niggas where y'all. Because I know a lot of niggas like to put shit on motherfuckers.
No, we already said that. There's no confirmed facts of any pedo.
All right. So all right. I don't want to say nobody's name, right? Because I don't be making rooms like this and messing. Because if somebody told me, first of all, somebody called me, it was a bunch of people, told me it was a white dude that's preying on young women. I mean, it's a white dude preying on young black women. And they was acting like...
Hey, excuse me, the boys let Big Rich, I was in the room, and he did prey on the girl because he called somebody like a couple months before she 18 and inquired about the girl, and then he told her don't mess with the girl because she's a minor, you're going to get yourself in trouble. And he turned around and messed with the girl anyway.
Wait.
But technically, she wasn't a minor, though.
She had turned 18 when he messed with her, but he had called and made a call about her. Like,
laid on their back and lit just.
That person that told him, I ain't gonna put nobody's name on it, don't mess with her. You know, she's a minor.
We made rooms on this already.
Yeah,
he like Marcus. We literally made rooms.
I've been off the app, bro. My bad.
We been anonymous and shit.
It was an anonymous show. Gabe had a room on it.
Nah,
but he came on. He's on the app. He's just on a He's on one of them anonymous things.
So wait, let me ask this real quick. Did Waters ever make allegations
before to fucking come out there.
Taking advantage of her.
This dumbass.
She did?
Didn't give her fucking money. Basically helped her husband.
Which I agree with that. Girls, young girls, I know for sure who he was in their back channel because they sent me the screenshot. Because I had years ago,
My biological age.
now he was like, I'm rookie, don't say that. I said,
You can't hold it.
trying to play with these young ass motherfuckers around here. And he was lying about his age. He had everybody in the app thinking he was 42, and they just found out yesterday that he was 53. He's not 60.
If he was 42 and you 18,
the girls that he was talking to, she was a minor before he talked to her, but she had turned 18. He had waited till she was 18 before he had her come down.
He just went from creep casting couch.
Check your back.
What do you guys think they were doing?
This is the picture right here, Lou. Let me show you the picture. I'm going to put on my picture.
all parents are grown ass women.
Yeah.
So parents.
She was just basically trying to say like he manipulated her mind and shit like that. Basically, that's what she was trying. Like got her to quit her job and hotel.
Said she was 15 though, right? What's going on right now? I think this is very cool piece to pull out.
Wait, so she's 23 years old. Wait, hold on. I just want to clarify. So she's 23 years old. She meets a dude that she knows old as hell. Go out there for
so what? I was responding to a
fuck. Why she just say no and then respect and pay with her own money? But was he like kidnapping her and saying you can't leave unless you give me pussy?
Well, she indicated that by saying she had to fuck him to get home. Google says that's sex trafficking court. If somebody comes out for business or music and it turns into you have to have sex, that's sex trafficking.
The reason why I want to everybody and their mama put the narrative that it was this, and then when the facts came out, all he did was fly some people out, and it wasn't no RICO, none of that. So the facts versus the narrative were two different things. So I just want to deal with the facts.
Wolf is in the group. Wolf could probably tell you since this happened on her side of the app. Let me see if Wolf.
The little girl, that's the little girl my profile is right here.
Get up here, Wolf.
If she a victim though, why y'all?
Because all words are technically concepts.
Okay, hold on, Lou. This is Wolf. You know Wolf from the trenches. This happened in her space. So one mic on you, Mama Wolf. And Lou, can I put my cash out for my birthday?
But there's nothing ever black.
Okay, I'm not gonna be here long. Thank you, Wolf.
Many hosts should actually learn from that. So again, seeing them emerge from nothing, and it's this wonderful fool. The fool.
No, I don't be on the app like
Tiger
this. I'm about to get
symbolizes
off.
fear.
It is
See,
my birthday.
princess
I'm
of
not gonna be on
wolves.
here all.
Dionysus has repeatedly bitten by this tiger, but his gaze remains directed forward. Gives no attention to fear, so it has lost its power over him. The tiger.
So, because I'm trying to figure out, because we was talking about earlier that like Diddy, right? He was accused of something, and the narrative was he did all of this shit, but then once the facts came out and the verdict came, all he did was really pay for some pussy in another state. So it's a narrative that this dude's a white boy. This is what the information that was brought to me. Please, can you please make the room? They were trying to text me hell of time. There's a white boy that preyed on younger black women. He has a black wife. He's praying, paying for sex for the women, coercing them, kidnapping them, basically. To where they can leave. So can you tell me the facts? Because I'm trying to keep it in the room.
Those are the only fucking ideas. The atrocities that are being focused. Slavery and the Holocaust.
He has a history of dating young women. I can't say that he's a pedophile because the women are of age. But
wait, so all of the women is of age, correct?
They are of age.
What's that word here?
Very close.
So all
very,
of the women
very
are
close
of age, meaning 18 or over, correct?
18 or over.
Meaning 17 or over.
Much closer to 18 than any of the other ages. This particular situation is one that's disturbing, however, because Jimmy was 17 when she came to not our side of the app of the trenches, but when she came to be known as Trimmy on the app. Right? So she was in other rooms and she was 17 She was underage, of course, and people knew. So by the time she made it to the trenches, she had just turned 18, but she lied about her age and was telling everybody she was 19. When we found out, because it was basically her and her friend, her and her little bestie. We found out that the best friend was a 14-year-old runaway. And thank you guys for the congratulations on the baby. Yeah, we found out that the girl was a 14-year-old runaway, and it was really disturbing. So she disappeared.
Wait,
You know, we didn't allow her best friend on the app. Yes, was a 14-year-old runaway. Yes, they had missing persons flyers and everything for her. So we found that out after they doxed her. She disappeared. We never saw her again. Maybe about a month or so later, maybe 3 to 4 weeks later, she came clean and was like, "I'm not gonna lie, you know, this is riding on my conscience, and I don't want you guys to dox me and find out I'm not 19, I am 18." So we were already traumatized from the young lady being 14. We were like, you lied. We don't believe nothing that you're saying. At this point, in order for you to be around, you have to show ID that you're of age. Other than that, we don't want you around. Boom, she got banned from the trenches, right? I don't know what happened between her being banned and her making her own spaces and B Rich starting to snoop around her. Her and B Rich started establishing a connection. What I found out today is B Rich has been talking to this girl when she was 17. People who were in spaces with them when she was 17 said B Rich was sniffing around her then. And at one point, she came off her mic and they heard B Rich in her background. When they asked about it, she said no, he was just our manager. It was she this is what we heard about today. So I'm just telling you guys, like, as it's coming along, like, and you know what's happening as it progresses. So we found out that he's been sniffing around her for a long time. She came back to the trenches. He sent me her birth certificate. Her birth certificate said she was 18. And she turned 18 February 25th of this year. So she was indeed 17, and just turning 18. So she's hot off the press. The situation with B Rich is that he has a history of messing with these girls, falling in love with these girls, and then these girls turning around and turning him into content, and then he acts all innocent and hopeless and helpless, like if these people are just manipulating him and taking advantage of him. This girl texted me today. She's basically saying that she's having suicidal thoughts. She said she feels like she ruined his life. He said he told her that his career is ruined, his life is ruined, and all he was doing was trying to help her. So it seems like there's some type of a guilt trip that's being inflicted on her, and she's feeling it really hard. She feels really bad, and yeah, that's where we at with it. It's a disgusting situation, and B Rich is he's a manipulator. This is a serial, predator at this point. And I'm gonna put it out there, and my team, we've been putting it out there because we can't do anything legally. He's not doing anything illegal. We're not, the girl keeps saying, "Oh, I consented multiple times." It's not about the consent. It's about the manipulation, and that's why we're running it on our side over and over and over again. Because these girls are being manipulated by his money and his influence. Apparently, he's been calling people, using his influence, calling Lil Darius and J. Cole and all these people to impress.
It'll back up and pick it up. It's a joke.
Yeah, I didn't get it. So
I invented that.
Perhaps the way that we're using the SSRs is vastly different today than it was 50 years ago. Even like in my case, I would say 20 years ago, we had some family trauma. I wasn't so much struggling with depression as much as like I noticed that I'd just become wildly moody to the point that like I really felt overly emotional and like I just did not have control of my emotions. Went to see my doctor, started a round of Prozac, did it for about 3 or 4 months, and then my doctor weaned me right back off of it. It wasn't like my doctor wasn't a proponent of me staying on the medication and weaned me off of it, and it worked. Like it kind of just leveled things out, it balanced me out, and I weaned off of it appropriately. and it ended up being very successful. And I didn't need any type of help from a mood, either the serotonin or the dopamine for years and years and years until just a couple years ago. And now I've had to be on a dopamine drug. My intrusive thoughts just got completely and totally out of control, and I was on it for about 6 months. I tried to wean off of it, and my doctor was like, this time around, my doctor was very much like, well, we can take you off of this one, but we should really put you on that one. And she was really adamant about me staying on a medication, and I did try to come off of the medication, and the compulsions with my intrusive thoughts just got completely out of control, so I had to go back on them. I don't know, I wonder if the way we're using those medications now, like it's supposed to be suddenly a lifelong support thing as opposed to intermittent use before, if that's got anything to do with the change.
Philosophy as well, right?
Well,
Hey, I'm next.
Joe, I promised Joe be the mic. Joseph, you can have it right after.
Well, working as a hospital social worker, that shit is over prescribed big time. You have walking zombies in terms of women particularly. Men don't get it as much. I don't know. They don't get prescribed the drugs as much as women. It's a taming of the shrew. I hate it. I am an active advocate against it within the hospital social worker community. It's dangerous.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that's a good point to what Joe just said, but to also speak on what Serendipity was saying about, I've heard a lot of people who make arguments that a lot of reason that these psych meds, should continue to be propagated through our society is because there are a lot of people who they actually help. But I think it's important to also take into consideration that not everybody's who's being prescribed these drugs is probably being given the same quality of actual medical guidance, because like any doctor can prescribe these types of medications, but that doesn't mean that every doctor has the level of experience or wisdom or understanding or even education necessary, or even gives enough of a fuck, about their patients to actually really help them through what it is that they're actually going through. Some doctors probably just throw it out like candy just to kind of get people out of their hair or something, So I think that could also be a big factor in why certain people who are prescribed these types of medications end up flying off the deep end, because they're not being given the proper guidance by their doctors, or even they're probably not getting any support from anywhere in their life, and they just said, fuck it, I'm gonna burn this shit down, and they go shoot up a school or whatever, So there's a lot of factors that can kind of play into how it is that somebody can allow for themselves to degenerate to the point where they do something like.
Oh, I'm sorry. So what do you do in that case? I'll tell you, I have a very long history.
Oh, Judy, you're in the Matrix.
There
we go.
For the universe. Am I right? I have a very long paternal history of depression in my family. I could tell you that when I was 10 or 11, I had that malaise. That's what they would call it. They never said it was depression. As I grew older, something wasn't right. So I always looked at part of my issues as being genetically predisposed because of the family history. When you have a father who has 4 siblings, and 3 out of those 4 siblings have had electric shock treatment in the 1960s, and I'm on an antidepressant, have been for a while, more for anxiety than depression at this point in my life. I tried to go off, and I did go off. 6 months later, it came creeping up again. My children are both on something, but they're all adults. The problem is, you can't blame anybody. You can't blame the clinicians. There are a lot of non-compliant patients, even if the clinicians are giving them the right direction. I know a lot of I've worked in healthcare for years. I know a lot of very smart and educated doctors that would not prescribe that medication unless those people were in therapy. And then there's others that, like you said, they don't care. But I think there's an element of the not caring or get him off my back. Doesn't matter if it's an antidepressant. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. It's just that's the way they practice. My mother's 95 years old. Other than right now, dementia, she's healthier than probably most of us. She's on 2 medications. One's a vitamin, and one is an antidepressant because my rocket scientist brothers, who are both physicians, feel that she's showing depression. She probably is. I would be depressed too. Did I agree with it? No, not for her, just to keep her down. No. But I really do believe there's a real big biological component. It's like, when they say to you, oh, do you have any family history? Oh, I'm loaded with family history. How could I have escaped it? How could my kids have escaped it? I don't know. So for me, it's been a lifesaver. When my daughter had her baby, she had such bad postpartum depression. It wasn't funny. And I would never have told her that I don't agree for her to go on a medication or I'm an activist against it, because I thought having her take the medication was better than her killing herself or killing someone else, because that's how bad it was. So we need to be really careful when we pass judgment on it, because I could say that about a lot of medications, not just antidepressants. And it just makes me sad to think that we're narrow-minded about it, because in my personal case, and I can only speak for me and my family, we are loaded with it. There's no way we could have escaped it. So that's all I got.
Well, Judy, you're making an appeal to emotion, though, and the thing is that that's the same way that a lot of parents who are told that they need to transition their children. Would you rather a dead child or a transgender child, right? So would you rather have your wife commit suicide? Well, sure, people can say that, but would you rather your wife commit suicide, or would you rather your wife on antidepressants? It's the same thing. You're making the same type of case.
No, it's absolutely not.
It is
not. No, it's not. No, you're saying that you're arguing that it's an emotional thing, and it's not. She's not appealing to the emotions. She's appealing to the clinical. When you have a depression situation, it's not just emotional. Yes, it can be, but it's a chemical in the brain that doesn't allow serotonin to be produced as much. Period. That's clinical.
Correct.
And when that happens, just like if somebody had diabetes, they would need more insulin. They would need that kind of stuff. It's the same kind of clinician kind of thing. So you're speaking horseradish, Alex.
Live my life, Alex, for about 6 months, and then we'll talk. Live my children's life. Live my aunt who was in her 80s, who can never get over the depression, no matter what she's done.
Go visit people. Go visit people who have no access to insulin. Watch what happens to them.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, my father was diagnosed with clinical major depression, bipolar mania 2, hypomanic, and I saw him go through a chemistry lab of up to 12 different drugs at one time. Some of those drugs were countering side effects of another drug, and it just became quite a chemistry lab. He did die of liver cancer. He had colon cancer, but it also went to his liver. But as far as it being genetic, I definitely agree. My dad, out of the 5 children that my dad had, I had 2 half brothers. One has schizophrenia, and then his brother, who had 6 children, 4 out of the 6 have schizophrenia as well. So that's what Judy's talking about, right, Judy? It's this is a different kind. Right. There's other types of depression that through situations that happen, but like the clinical. Yeah, depression, serious stuff. I mean, my dad went through electric shock therapy. We're talking back in the 50s, which was pretty old school, scary stuff. And he did go into remission until he was about 40. He got that when he was 17 years old. He missed his junior and senior year of high school when it really hit him. And he went into a remission after the electric shock therapy, interestingly enough. but then it came back in a big way. He ended up being a psychiatric technician for Santa Barbara County in mental health because he had such a big heart for mentally ill and helping people. And anyway, that's just a little background, but he was a roller coaster ride. I mean, there'd be days I'd come home and he would be manic. He'd be buying things. There's always like a box from QVC at the front door. He'd be crying one day. Next day, he'd be mowing a lawn, and he didn't want to stand in front of him when he was mowing the lawn. Like my mom's parents, my grandparents on my mom's side were afraid that he was going to kill all of us and himself. There was a lot. Like he had to get called down from the sheriff's department several times where he locked himself in the bedroom threatening to kill himself. He never owned a firearm, but we figured he was going to overdose or do something like that. It's definitely, I mean, it's a serious thing. I mean, that level of depression. And here's the other thing not to forget about is when it comes to medication can also make you suicidal. It can also create other kinds of things. I mean, you see the commercials, you listen to all the side effects. You really need to know the possible side effects on any medication you're on when it comes to depression. And if you stop or you forget to take your medication, that can be a catastrophe. If a person doesn't stay on their meds, that can be that can create a real shit show.
Well, and I was going to ask Yosh, are any of these drugs been updated, like with the national background check when it comes to firearm purchasing? Like if you're on these meds, or has anything been updated since I'd say 10, 15 years ago to legally purchase a firearm, and are these red flags for that?
At most universities, you can form a student organization. I have a gun, and I'm on antidepressants.
No, there's basically they ask you if you're using illegal drugs.
That might not be a sentence you ever want to hear uttered in your life. I have a gun and I'm on antidepressants.
That's the two things I'm looking for right now.
And to be fair, suicidal ideation, whatever it is not part of a regular SSRI. Wellbutrin, citalopram, even Prozac, these are not side effects of those drugs. Like those side effects are listed on drug commercials on TV, but those are not SSRIs that are listed on.
Well, and mentally deficient is very vague. So I don't know how.
It comes down to you were put under psychiatric care against your own will. Commercials on TV. That's kind of where they're at.
Right, so managing any kind of mental deficiency wouldn't come up as a red flag during a purchase if you have to disclose the management of a mental deficiency.
I think that the mental deficiency you're talking about, the mental deficiency is about...
Sorry, if you're involuntarily committed for a psychiatric thing, then you should have to say yes on that question.
It's also about capability, about intelligence. That's what that means as well.
Well, here's the other key. You have to be able to afford the treatment. My dad fortunately could. He saw a psychiatrist weekly sometimes and bi-weekly other times. And on top of that, like they constantly were monitoring his meds. But I mean, let me just list a few: Wellbutrin, lithium, Zoloft, Tegretol, and anything you can think of. Basically, he was on. I mean, but he passed away like in 2000. So, but we're talking like the antidepressants coming from like the 70s into the 80s when they still barely had their heads wrapped around depression back then. But the cost to treat is so expensive. There's so many people that can't afford treatment. That's a whole thing too.
Registered disability.
Hello? Well, you know, saying one thing about schizophrenia. Yeah, I was like, what? Schizophrenia, there's another one. They've finally gotten to a point where there's a shot you can take once a month. But before that shot came out, the biggest problem with schizophrenia is schizophrenics didn't like the way the medication would turn them into a zombie, and they wouldn't stay on it, which is why you would see, like what you see just on the streets with people talking to themselves and saying things. It's the shot once a month has been a big help for schizophrenics, but then again, you still have to be able to have access to getting that treatment and that shot.
Commercials on TV.
Yeah, that's mental health is a challenge that I hope we can improve on. Taking care of our country needs help with mental health, and it's unfortunate how expensive it is. It's a big deal.
You know, that's okay. So two parts. Number one, I wanted to know, I do think there's something to be said about particularly the hormone therapies being combined with either the SSRIs or the dopamine drugs. I think that's definitely an element that there needs to be focus on, particularly like when you think in the context of how many of these shooters have been trans. But the second thing I was going to say is too, like, speaking to the biological component, that's another thing too, that people tend to really vary widely. Some people really need the serotonin uptake. Others, like for me, SSRIs have never really been very effective because serotonin is not my issue. I do much better on like the dopamine uptake inhibitors, like Wellbutrin. And the Wellbutrin was what I had come off of back at the end of the year last year because the dry mouth side effect was so bad. Like I was waking up in the middle of the night and I literally couldn't swallow because the dry mouth was so bad. And my doctor knew that. I always start by leading with, I don't want to be on something for the rest of my life. Like, I just need to get over the hump, you know, get me through this little situation, and I want to be able to come back off of it. So when the dry mouth got really, really bad, you know, I talked to my doctor and I was like, it's time to come off because it's just not worth that side effect. And it had worked wonderfully for me. And so I did, and her immediate, like I said, reaction was, well, we should switch you to something else. And, you know, I told her at the time, I was like, no, I would really just prefer to come off and, like, you know, just see how things go. So I did, and like I said, the intrusive thoughts got so bad. I mean, really, really bad, to the point that not only was I obsessing on the intrusive thoughts, but like I was having the compulsions. It was changing my behavior. It was affecting my behavior and the way that I did things. And so I called my doctor back and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go on something else because this is like getting really out of hand. And that was the thing that my doctor told me to do, is she was like, well, we're going to put you on another dopamine reuptake, but she also advised that I seek the like professional counseling services. She was like, I think you need to talk to a therapist to work through some of the behavioral issues so that the medication hopefully won't have to be long term. And so I was like, okay, 10-4, no problem. Never been like a big, huge therapy kind of person, but I decided to entertain it. And it was such a hassle going through my insurance to get approval to have some therapy sessions to talk about like just OCD in general. And I had like 3 appointments with one of those, I don't know, doc in the box kind of, you know, they give you like 3 free virtual appointments or whatever. So my insurance company had me do that first, but they only covered 3 appointments. And she was like, yeah, you're going to need more than 3 appointments. So then I go back to my insurance company. They get me approved and set up through this e-home counseling. I had 1 appointment and the counselor was horrible. He was horrific. And I called my insurance company back and I was like, no, not happening. You're going to have to find me somebody else. Then I got a call a few days later. Sorry, we don't really have anybody else on the plan that can see you. So You know, like the mental health system in this country is just wackadoo. Services are terrible.
Can I ask a question? I've never been in therapy. I mean, maybe I should have in a lot of ways, but like, I've also never taken any psych meds. So, as far as what it is that the doctors use to prescribe the psych meds and the therapy that you might be going through, is there any correspondence between the therapist and the doctor so that they can kind of come together to try and decide like what type of, you know, measures or what type of medications will be best for a patient to be prescribed?
The only correspondence in my case was my doctor requesting the records from the therapist because my doctor was the prescriber of the medication. But the therapist was the one. And like I said, they're OCD issues. It's not like, you know, which is a little bit different, but still kind of in the realm. But yeah, so my doctor requested it from the therapy provider, but that was his own initiative. I don't necessarily know what the standard norm is. Like I said, I'm not a therapy person. But given the compulsive behavior, I felt like, well, at this point, I'll try anything because I just wanted to get it under control.
I just feel like there should be, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, maybe that would require a lot more funding or resources or, you know, some sort of like adjustments to be made to the system or whatever. But, you know, like when you're dealing with people's heads, it's like it's incredibly subjective, you know, and like the types of emotions that a person is going through, the type of upbringing they had or whatever type of trauma that they might have been exposed to could be a big factor in what, you know, and why they're struggling to cope with and reconcile with the world, you know? So, like, it's not solely, you know, a brain chemical issue, you know? It's also, like, a spiritual issue, you know? It's a psychological issue, you know? And it just seems really irresponsible to me to just be, like, to give a doctor, like, complete agency and their ability to decide what type of medications a person should be prescribed based on, you know, just solely like brain chemistry, you know. I don't know. That's my perspective.
So to give you a little bit of reassurance, often when people go into medicine therapy, their vitals are checked, things like that. There's a lot of things that are considered before they're diagnosed, before they're given any kind of medication. Sometimes, and it depends. There's a lot of doctors who can give those drugs out. Before it was really difficult to get any of these medications, and now it's become more readily available. But there's also what happens with psychiatric stuff too is more behavior. There's no kind of screen you can do. There's no blood screen. There's no they're still determining if the MRIs can determine if somebody, like a person in severe depression versus somebody who's not, if there's even show up on an MRI screen, things like that, you know, or pick a screening of any sort. So what they've done is determined how are you feeling and what's going on with your body, what symptoms have made you concerned that this is not just a physical condition.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, it makes sense, and you know I can understand the validity of all that. But the point I'm trying to make is that it's not always a purely somatic issue. Like, you know, as somebody who's had mental health issues all my life because I had a chronically abusive childhood, you know, it was like there were plenty of instances that I can remember during like different phases of growth and evolution that I went through where I was on the verge of going off the deep end, you know, and just fucking, you know, going crazy, you know, and sometimes all a person needs is just like not to, you know, be oversimplified about it, but they just need a fucking hug, man. They just need somebody to help. Yeah. Exactly. They need some unconditional support and guidance, you know, and just love from someone, you know, and Like, a person can, on the outside, look like they have all that. Like, they can come from, like, a wealthy family, you know, be put through all the best schools and all that stuff. But, like, you don't know what type of fucking internal, like, psychological dynamics exist within that household. Maybe they've probably been emotionally neglected all their life, you know? And I feel like those are factors that can play a big part in how a person's brain chemistry like react, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not always it's not the tail that wags the dog, you know, it's the other way around, you know?
Right.
And, so that's my stance on it.
And I tell you what, too, Monica mentioned it in chat, but I figured I would just put it out there. Without even intending to, in my search for, like, trying to just identify my behaviors and identify small little ways to make changes, I launched into deciding that I wanted to volunteer at a stable. I really wanted to work with horses, and I kind of threw myself into it. And that, honest to God, ended up being the best therapy for me. It is the one place in the world that I can go and spend time with them, and everything else on my mind just kind of falls away. And I think sometimes we all, like, I have a really hard time shutting my brain down and stopping the thinking. And I can be there doing that, and I don't know if it's because of the physical labor. I don't know if it's just I love the connection with the horses or what, but that's the one place I can go where everything else falls away, and I am just right there present in that moment, and it quiets my brain. And that's absolutely been the best thing in the world for me.
Will they eat McDonald's apples?
No, Wallace, they will not.
You silly goose.
Oh, that's funny. You did try it then. I told you.
I did, and they did not want any part of that. I do wonder if it's the lemon juice.
It's the formaldehyde.
Oh!
Just kidding. I don't know.
Thank you, everybody, for taking this seriously. I really, really appreciate it. There's a lot of places in life and a lot of places, as Monica calls it, the mean streets, clubhouse, where this kind of talk and everything can, it can be dangerous, but it can also be like really mean. People can be real mean. So thanks for allowing some sensitivity to a lot of stuff. I really appreciate it, whether you agree or disagree with it.
Well, I mean, you know, the fundamental theme of the room is that some guy or person just, like, shot up a bunch of fucking innocent people, you know? And it's like, I feel like the result of that is just the general, like, lethargic kind of coldness that a lot of people in our society just have toward one another. I mean, everywhere you go, it's like there's no interaction outside of, like, transactional interactions. You know, like, you go to the store, you buy something, you talk to the clerk, you know, whatever. But, like, if you go out on the street anywhere, like, nobody ever fucking talks to each other. Very rarely do you ever go anywhere where you see people who don't know each other interacting. You know, it's just like
I go to the cat food aisle on Publix, because then all the other cat ladies go there and they talk to each other. And we have a little conversation. I mean, it's really actually, I'm kind of half joking, but actually, like, when I actually go to a store and go out in public, it seems that that's just how I socialize. It's how I was raised. Not like we're gonna have like exchange numbers or anything, but just wishing people a pleasant day and trying to be as pleasant as possible in any interaction. So I don't know. I get a little sense of sanity with it.
Here's the most recent lesson that Clubhouse has taught me, even about my engagement here, but I think my engagement in the real world. You know, there was a room last night calling me and some other people specifically out by name, and then lumping the conservative women on this app kind of categorically, and a lot of very unkind, untrue things were spoken in that room. And you know, you hear about it and you find out about it, and like your initial reaction is to want to react. And that was absolutely my initial reaction as well was to want to react, to defend myself, you know, to call out the bullshit. But that's exactly the kind of fuel that they're looking for. And I had to come to the conclusion that, like, I'm just not going to get in the mud and roll around with them the same way. I don't have to stoop to those levels. I don't have to propagate, like, making up lies and act the same way as they do. The best thing in the world that I can do is not to give it any breath. And to just keep doing me and being me. And, you know, I have to hope that, like, my reputation amongst the people that I actually care about will stand for itself. I don't need to go defend myself. I don't need to tell people, you know, those were lies. Those were things that weren't true. You're going to know me, and you're either going to accept me and like me, or you're not, and that's okay. We're not all everybody's cup of tea. I don't care.
You know what, serendipity? The thing is, that's the only place you'll be able to have rent-free is in the haters that want to sit back, the jealous people, whatever they may be. But you are in their head. They are thinking of you. And guess what? It doesn't cost you a damn penny. Just keep being the kind person that you are and say, well, that's great. You know what? Yeah. I always have to pay rent, but thank God I don't have to pay rent to be in your head. Keep thinking about me.
Right? I mean, these are people that I don't even engage with. I can't even say that I regularly engage in their conversations. And they chose to use my name and disparage my character. And yeah, like that at first, you're just like, what the fuck? But then I'm just like, why do I care? These aren't people I engage with. I don't care. And so, yeah, sometimes the only way to win is not to play.
That is the truth. Well, and the sad part is, you know, I don't talk about it on here that often. I have in my bio that I'm just, you know, a real estate professional in Florida with Keller Williams. But I do have a master's degree in psychology. And I pay attention to some of these people, and I'm like, you guys are so damn lost in this world that you need to figure yourself out before you actually come on to a social audio app and try to destroy people, because you can't do it in real life. You have no control in real life. And I pay close attention to the people that are mods that keep moving people down to the audience. Like, oh, you're in timeout. Nope. And then pull them back up. No, you're in timeout. Nope. And they just keep doing it over and over to people, like the same person. And I'm like, you know what? You have some type of problem in your life that you need to figure out, because if this is the only control you have is to be on a social audio app, one, we don't know if that person is having some type of weird, bad day, psychopath, what they may be. But you're stimming them. The more you push them down, than to just ask real nice, you know what, I don't think it's your day in here. Do you mind to just get going? Get going. I don't want to throw you out of the room because I don't think that's very kind, but if you'd like to just leave because you're not contributing. But I pay attention to that stuff because sometimes I get very aggravated with it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Joseph. Go ahead, Jeff.
For a long time, I've been on this app for probably like 3 years now, and it kind of like really opens up to you once you kind of start to kind of like understand how it works. Like it actually, when I first started using this app, it completely like revitalized like my enthusiasm with the internet in general, you know, because I was getting really like kind of bored of just the normal kinds of user interfaces and ways of communicating, because it seemed like the user interface of the internet in general seemed kind of like, once it kind of got taken over by the corporations, you know, like it seemed like it got very, very restrictive as far as the level of like honest, kind of uncensored communication you could have with other people on the internet. Then I discovered this app and I was like, oh, this is like real, this is raw, you know, and it's like you're like right on the threshold of like the moment with all these different people like having all these honest and open like discussions, you know. And And it actually kind of really helped me sharpen my sword as far as like my ability to effectively communicate with other people, you know, and to effectively communicate a lot of the higher order aspects of myself and ideas and things like that, you know. And but there were also times where I would get sucked into, like, I noticed that I would get sucked into those weird little petty kind of high school melodrama kind of bullshit situations and stuff. But if you use it properly, it's like you can use it as a way of reflecting to yourself, you know, like these aspects of yourself that you need to kind of learn to reconcile as far as how it is that you relate to people socially, and kind of exercise your own inner demons, essentially. You know, that's kind of what I put it to use for myself as. But after that, I kind of went through that phase. I stopped engaging on the app for a long time. I would still come on here and poke around a little bit, but I would always feel like this kind of malaise about the app because it felt so. Every room that you went into, it was just like, you know, it was just hyenas and jackals and vultures and just fucking picking at each other and, you know, blowing smoke, and, you know, it was just like, I don't know, like, I think it's just, you just got to kind of hold out. And that's why I'm glad I found, like, honestly, serendipity was there, that room. I think it was yesterday, about, like, what's causing chaos in the country. Like, I don't know, it was the first community that I found in a long time where people were actually, like, conversing respectfully, where there was actually, like, effective moderation, where they weren't using it as a way to, like, empower their ego in some sort of way, like what, I don't remember who was saying that, I think it was Beth. You know, there are people that do that, you know, it's like the people that they moderate is as a way of establishing, like, a social hierarchy.
Yes.
Within the room, you know, is like who's the in group, and everybody else is just fucking expendable fodder, you know. And it has, like, a really, like, deranged kind of effect on the psychology of the room, you know, where it's not even, if you have any sort of head on your shoulders, it's not even worth fucking engaging at that point, you know. And so yeah, it's just really a matter of, what you have to understand is that, you know, your participation in these rooms is completely voluntary. You know what I mean? Like, you are the one who's in complete control of what type of effect you're getting out of this app or not. And anytime I'm in a room where it's like so much of an uphill battle that it's not even worth engaging, I just remove myself from the room, you know? Because, like, I don't over-identify with it to the point where, like, I'm staking my ego on other people's perception of me in that moment. You know, I gotta fucking try to prove something. You know, it's just walk away, man.
Yeah, real quick, I was going to say the 4 agreements should be necessary read before downloading this app.
And 100%, the thing of it is, I don't care what space you go into, your comment about, like, you certainly do have more heavy-handed moderators that are more particular about curating, like, echo chambers or just playing with those that don't agree with them. But we're human by nature, and I think you're oftentimes going to find in most places that you will see a lot of, like, you definitely see a lot of the same moderators here in the Muff. Depending on the topic of the conversation, sometimes I will mod other people. For example, if we're kind of getting into some of the, you know, gender war topics, like, I don't want the stage to be full of a bunch of women. I'm generally going to stack the deck to try and make sure that we've got some men on board. I also try to pick people that I feel like are generally going to be fair and balanced in the room, as far as, like, listening to, don't necessarily with. But not all spaces are that way, and I don't always get it right. I can tell you my issues come up all the time. And it causes bickering amongst the friends. Like, it's not a fun place to be. I hate being top left in these rooms every day. Like, I cannot wait for Moto.
Well. You wear the crown well, friend.
You're doing a great job. Serendipity, it's not easy at all to be up to the top left, for real. That is not an easy thing to have to do. You're doing a great job. Really appreciate you. Thank you.
I hate it. content, quote unquote, creation, that's not my forte. Monica's the content creator, but I'm just trying to hold down the fort for Mojo and respect his rules to the best that I can. And I like to have these spaces every day where we can just kind of talk and chill, and the topics change from minute to minute, like, you know, but I don't know. It does become cliquish. I'm cliquish. There are a handful of people I'm always going to mod if it's my room. Like, it's just going to happen. I'll admit that. And I don't care. I don't make excuses for it. My spaces, I can curate them however I want to. You don't have to like it, and if you don't like it, leave. It's really that easy. But I do try to keep a balanced stage whenever possible. I have even oftentimes moderated people that I disagree with, because I just don't want to give the impression of we don't want to hear the other side of it.
Yeah, no, it's difficult. You know, I have to mod our room Monday through Friday in the mornings, which is a better time to mod because one, we record our rooms. Two, most people haven't gotten drunk yet, except for our Aussie friends that are just getting ready to go to bed. But it's a little bit easier to control. And luckily, all of our mods, we know, do not have anybody blocked. Although my colleague and we did find one day that I had someone that I'm paying good money to help me write a book. I had her blocked. I must have looked at her. I don't know what I did, but she's the only person I've ever had blocked. And I'm like, I'm paying her. No wonder I couldn't find her anymore. But that's when it becomes a problem, when you have one mod who blocks everybody, and then you have friends that can't get in the room, and your phone's blowing up with text messages. I can't get in the room. Who do you have? Take a screenshot.
Right?
I want to see who's in there.
That is definitely, yes, that is definitely a huge source of contention. And something else that you have to consider is how many people are your mods going to have blocked, because it's going to impact your traffic, and you're going to get those back channel messages, you know? But I can honestly say, if I'm looking at this stage right now and I'm looking at the majority of the audience and our listeners all the way down to Moose down there in the goo, most of these people in here at any given time, given the circumstances, the situation, the topic, I wouldn't hesitate to mod any of them, because I've spent time in the room with you guys. I don't find anybody really that's here right now to be particularly heavy-handed. I prefer less is better in most circumstances, and so I wouldn't necessarily have an issue modding the majority of the people in this room right now. It's just a lot of times it's the topic, you know, and two, I also don't think it's conducive to mod the whole fucking room. I think that's just a shitstorm waiting to happen. Somebody's eventually going to boom it, get mad, throw people down, kick people out. And that can get real messy too. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why back in the day, I had a little bit more of a social clique that kind of ended up kind of disbanding or what have you. But anytime I would open a room, I would be really mindful of the types of effects that modding multiple people could have in a room, because I noticed that let's say that I open a room, right, and then I like somebody that's in the room, and I appreciate and kind of recognize the value that they can bring to a conversation, or maybe I have a personal kind of affinity for them or whatever. But then I modded somebody else in the room who decided that they didn't like that person, right? So then they kicked them out. I've been so many times in my life where in my actual personal relationships, I had to referee confrontations between other people, and it's almost kind of how I gave myself a sense of personal value socially almost for a long time. But I eventually grew out of that, and it made it so that anytime I would open a room, I would never moderate other people. I would just be the only moderator, and anytime anybody got out of order in a way that was rubbing me the wrong way, I would just kick them out of the room without explanation. I wouldn't even say anything about it, you know. I mean, obviously there would be levels of disrespect, you know, sometimes all it would take is just for you to kind of give them a warning or whatever, you know. But if I could tell that their intention was to create discord in the room, you know what I mean? I would fucking just axe them, you know. But eventually, that even started to have like a backlash, you know, because like people would like start to view you as being tyrannical, and then they'd all start talking shit about you in the back channels, and that just caused me to kind of step away from things for a while and just kind of focus on myself.
Yeah, you're never gonna make all of the people happy all of the time. As a chronic people pleaser, lesson number 4,461.
Yep, just be you, and the ones that don't like it, fucking kick rocks. The ones that do,
right, Sick?
Have some fun.
Can I brag about myself for a minute? I'm just
yes, ma'am.
Waiting.
I do it.
Brag really quick because you know all this whatever that's going on in these clubhouse streets, and I actually have a real career, contrary to what people think. I went back to work a year ago. Okay.
Girl, you work at Walmart. Be quiet.
So. You know, all of this, you know, mess, whatever we want to define it as. And I actually have to do presentations. And before the presentation, I was complaining in the back channel to Serendipity. I get an email from the CHRO Serendipity. Hi, everyone. I just wrapped up today's weekly session with my name. I'm just going to call myself MG, and wanted to take a moment to recognize her exceptional delivery. Although I've seen the HR presentation several times, MG's energy and engaging style made everything feel fresh and dynamic. Her ability to connect with the audience and keep the content lively is truly impressive. MG, you are a fantastic presenter. It was a pleasure to be dialed in with you today. Kind regards. And then he called me. Via Teams. And I was like, why is my CHRO calling me? And he called me.
Oh,
congratulations.
You deserve all the flowers.
I was all rattled. I'm sorry, I had to take this moment just to give myself some flowers.
There you go.
Back to whatever we're talking about.
No, I want to stay here a little while and roast my feet at the fabulous fire you just...
Right?
I love it. We need to get women to get more, accept more praise.
Major kudos wonderful. To you, sweet thing.
Oh my gosh, I'm just so
That's awesome. And what a nice thing to do. Like, it's so nice to get that.
Yes, it called me.
Acknowledgement of doing a good job, you know, like, it's so powerful to get acknowledgement. That's awesome. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Good job, MG.
Wow.
Thank you.
Reinforce it.
All right, we can go back. I was just all concerned about this presentation. I was like over it. But anyway, we can go back.
Well, I am so proud of you, MG. I've been waiting so we could break the conversation to say congratulations.
Oh, we can go back. But I was just so, you know, so excited to see the email.
So how many of you felt really good hearing that? Like how that...
I did.
Just to hear her share that.
You're right. It is a gift to us.
That was really nice.
I concur. It is a gift to us.
A gift to us.
I love using my emojis. So I get to use my emoji.
What are we getting back to? Are we going to still talk about the topic at the top, or?
No. Why? Have you got something?
No, I don't. I just was asking. I wish I did, but I'm flowing, going with the flow.
We've covered a lot of territory today.
I think we should all read our last employer review.
I'm about to get mine.
To expose who we are, like just the absolute truth of our annual review.
That's funny.
I'd like to read a poem, if I may.
Sure, John. We're back to the poem. We won't even take a poll this time.
There was a flower with eyes. The eyes looked at the flower. The flower looked at the eyes. Okay, I'm done. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, this is what it is. Take the deepest breath of the day. This is called To All My Beautiful Clubhouse Friends. I don't
have any friends.
I don't get tired of you. Don't grow weary of being compassionate toward me. All this thirst equipment must surely be tired of me. The water jar, the water carrier. I have a thirsty fish in me that can never find enough of what it's thirsty for. Show me the way to the ocean. Break these half measures, these small containers, all this fantasy and grief. Let my clown house be drowned in the wave that rose last night out of the courtyard, hidden in the center of my chest. Joseph fell like the moon into my well. The harvest I expected was washed away. But no matter, a fire has risen above my tombstone hat. I don't want learning or dignity or respectability. I want this music and this dawn and the warmth of your cheek against mine. The grief armies assemble, but I'm not going with them. This is how it always is when I finish a poem. A great silence overcomes me, and I wonder why I ever thought to use language.
Oh, dear Lord Jesus. I don't know what they're selling out on the streets of Chicago, but I would say go a different route today. Don't go past that man again. Whatever you're taking. John. No, go a different route. Oh,
I thought it was accurate where it said that you're a thirsty fish. You can't satisfy your thirst.
All I kept thinking is, why is he telling us about his fish?
All I kept thinking is, why does he have so many Mojo accounts?
I just kept thinking, he loves me.
I got hungry for fish.
No, there was one line in there where it ended with the word for, and then he said something else, and I wanted to interject and say, let me show you the door. But
That's hilarious.
I would never do such a thing, because while you don't really have any Clubhouse friends, John, I consider you like a tier 3 friend for sure.
Clubhouse tiers. I like that. How many tiers do you have?
Just 3. Just 3.
3 tiers. I like that.
Yeah, anything under tier 3 is a friend of me. And then, you just got the ones that don't matter.
That's good. Actually, that makes sense. Yeah, you have your acquaintances, you have your friends that you casually hang with, and then you have your close friends that you call, you have their numbers, and you hang out here on Clubhouse together.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
You should do a poem about that, John.
What, that he's a tier 3 friend?
Clubhouse tiers. I like
me in tier 3.
I like the play on words there too. Clubhouse tiers. It can be friend tiers. It can be real tiers.
Well, I think, contentment and content, those words are so closely connected. If somebody comes on here and doesn't give you good content, it'll create discontentment. So, people who don't spread good content, they're generally,
met with contention.
Well, I mean, you all see how it's connected. Like, you are your content. So bring contentment and people will enjoy your content.
Man, you're such a content snob.
Well, I'd like to read one more poem of contentment.
Oh, no. Okay. 60 seconds, John.
We've come again to that knee of seacoast no ocean can reach. Tie together all human intellects. They won't stretch to here. The sky bears its neck so beautifully, but gets no kiss, only a taste. This is the food that everyone wants, wandering the wilderness. Please give us your manna and quail. We're here again with the beloved. This air, a shout. These meadow sounds, an astonishing myth. We've come into the presence of the one who was never apart from us. When the water bag is filling, you know the water carrier's here. The bag leans lovingly against your shoulder. Without you, I have no knowledge, no way to touch anyone. When someone chews sugarcane, he's wanting this sweetness. Inside this globe, the soul roars like thunder. And now silence, my strict tutor. I won't try to talk about Clown House. Language cannot touch that presence.
Is that poem? Okay. Let me just say that I couldn't even listen to the thing you said because my ADHD was going into full effect with your accent as you're reading that. Okay?
Sorry for the late celebration. Yay. And I also didn't want to.
Very old time.
Fun fact, today in 1964, August 27th, Mary Poppins premiered.
Aww.
Oh, interesting fact there. Wow.
Wait, what was the fact? I missed it.
Today, August 27th, 1964, Mary Poppins premiered.
A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine so bad.
You know what? Dick Van Dyke was amazing. That guy always, didn't that guy, he just had this, positive, Dick Van Dyke was awesome. I actually liked him the best out of the whole thing.
And Stevie Ray Vaughan died in a helicopter crash in 1990 on August 27th.
Damn.
Stig's coming with the in history today.
Yeah, I got a little pop-up in my browser that gives me little fun facts for the day, or the date.
What National Food Day is today, Sig? Do you know? I haven't looked at that, but there's every day is a National Food Day, right?
Let me check and see, yeah. Look it up.
Sig, you missed it. I don't think you were here. I was telling Nye that I'm never playing trivia against her again. If it's men versus women, then I'm just not going to play. Unless I can be on the same team as her when it comes to the trivia. Okay. TV, movies, maybe music I could compete against her with, but yeah.
I think the next trivia room we do, Sean B, is going to be poll bit. Answers correctly and doesn't.
Oh, I like that. That'd be cool.
And today is National Banana Day, Sean. So
okay.
All you banana lovers, today's your day. Eat a banana.
Okay. It's good potassium.
There you go.
Yeah!
Go banana!
That's a quote from The Simpsons when Ralphie's on the bus and they're racing fruit and everybody's racing an apple and he rolls a banana.
So silly. I don't even watch him. That's so silly.
I posted a Twitter link above to a highly disturbing video that was posted on YouTube 2 hours ago by the shooter. It shows his manifesto and his arsenal and all that stuff.
Oh, is this the 20-minute video that was posted on YouTube that got pulled? Is this the link?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was looking for that. Thank you, sure.
Do you guys know the history of bananas in the United States? We had one type of banana until the 1960s roughly, and then it got a fungus that killed the entire worldwide supply, so we had to change to a different banana from then on. And the other banana tasted better than the ones we have today.
Oh my gosh, like the smaller ones, right?
No. It looked like the ones we have today, but it looked the same, but it's a completely different banana. It was called a Gros Michel. GROS shell, and it had a fungus that killed the entire world population of them, and they replaced them with Cavendish, which is the banana we eat today. And now it looks like there's a fungus starting on Cavendish, and they don't have a replacement right now, but they're worried that it might go away forever as well. It literally went extinct. The Grossman shell went extinct.
That's what they called it, Grossman shell. It had a fungus.
Dang. Instinct and going in instinct. I can't talk right now.
Kind of like
bananas are seriously important to everybody's, like to people's general diet. That could be really bad news for everyone.
Yeah, and they're by far the most popular fruit in the world too.
You could solely live on bananas.
Yeah.
Are bananas in pajamas in danger?
Oh dear. Gosh.
It's like I wish I could taste one of the old bananas because it's supposed to have tasted better. It's like when McDonald's changed their fries. Apparently, like before that, they were cooked in some oil that was deemed too unhealthy, so they changed it, and they significantly changed the flavor. So Malcolm Gladwell on his podcast, Revisionist History, which is a great podcast if you haven't heard it. Malcolm Gladwell is one of my favorite people. He has an episode where he found a lab that made the same oil that McDonald's used to use, and then he cooked fries in it, and he brought people in to try them, and they were crazy good. Like the people were like, "Holy shit, this is so much better than the current fries." And apparently, we've all forgotten what they tasted like, but the other ones were way better.
What was it?
Wasn't that palm oil, and then they switched to vegetable?
I thought it was lard at one point.
Yeah, I don't know. But there was something in the oil that was unhealthy. It wasn't oil itself. It was, but the reason is chalked up to this something in the oil. So I don't remember the reason. I think it changed in around 2000-ish or something. But apparently the other fries tasted way better. Like on the podcast, people are freaking out how good they are.
Oh.
New topic is in the chat for Monica. Scientists have discovered that black plastic used on many food products is a carcinogen.
Yeah, you see IO in you guys see the chat? They said beef tallow. That was is that with the
tallow, that was it. Yeah,
that's lard. I mean,
if you go to Steak
it's
and
not...
Shake, that's what they promote, that they do their fries in tallow.
So
that's tallow is now, or tallow was before?
Tallow is animal fat, so but it's not oil. Well, it's not technically oil.
So I'm just wondering if tallow is what they use now, or is tallow what was
I think they used that before, probably.
Oh, okay.
I think that with the rise of veganism, that was like a big reason why a lot of companies decided to stop using animal fat.
It's expensive.
Well,
it was the same time that McDonald's filled its menu with salads, which went away eventually as well. There was this whole moment in time when they were trying to make McDonald's healthy. Remember?
Well, it's because of that Super Size Me movie. You guys remember that?
Yeah, that's what it was. You're right. I forgot about that. That's exactly why it all happened.
I think what happened was McDonald's.
Spurlock, by the way.
I think McDonald's got hit with a whole bunch of lawsuits after that, and I think that's the big reason why. You know, it's like people complain about the degree to which our society has become so sterile, you know, but at the same time, there was this weird movement in the fucking early 2000s, you know, from 2000 to 2010, where it almost seemed like there was everybody was pushing back on for McDonald's, for example, how it was always marketing to kids, you know. And I feel like that's why they rebranded in the way that they did, because they were being attacked for it, you know? So I think that's interesting, you know, because we're all fucking kind of to blame for how shitty society is in a lot of ways, I think, symbiotically, you know?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think we're 100% to blame.
think there's just too many people, man. When everybody has a voice, it's like, how the hell, how do you establish a baseline when literally everybody in the world is coming from somewhere else, you know?
Yeah, someone said, who said this recently? I like the world better when I didn't know the opinion of people I don't know. And I totally agree with that.
Yeah, that was my.
So, like, I just feel like there was a lot more of a, like a bottleneck effect as far as, like, the quality of voices that could kind of rise to the top of the heap before the internet.
Well, we had the same source to go to for facts. I mean, that was a big deal. Like, if you were arguing with me about something, we'd open the encyclopedia or the dictionary and we'd solve it. And we both left agreeing that one person was wrong and one person was right. Then we got into alternative facts. Then we got into factoids, right? Which are false facts. And now there's facts to support every single opinion from any direction. And it's impossible to discern which ones are true and which ones are not. Like, my biggest fear is losing complete awareness of what's real and what's not real. I mean, we're already going there for sure. We're already in the midst of it. So what happens when we literally can't tell what's real and what's not real?
Like for a while, I was kind of concerned with the whole idea that, you know, people were going to start to lose grip on what's real and what's not because of, like, you know, ChatGPT and, you know, artificial intelligence generated images and videos and things like that. But then I realized, like, there's a lot of people in comments on, like, Instagram videos and shit like that who will be like, oh, that's AI, to a video that's like fucking like 15 years old. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, it's just stupid people. Stupid people are still the problem.
Yeah, but we
really don't know what's real. We have to maintain our critical thinking skills and question everything. I mean, honestly, we're in a period of time where you really do have to use your own intelligence and make your best judgment and guess. Because a lot of times it is a guess. I mean, you could hear about some science research on some food product, and unless you have the testing capabilities to test that water out,
what is that?
you really don't know. So now you have to like look at it and go,
years ago, he was the editor-in-chief.
What else can I find about this? Is there anything else, or is it just this one story from this one place? No one else is reporting it. It's not coming from any, you know, where's the research here? Like, you really have to do your homework now.
Well, there's also an entire generation of people who grew up using the internet as, like, the main means by which they interface with, like, the world, you know? So it's like to the point that Mike was making, like, he's at, like, I used to love reading encyclopedias and stuff like that when I was a kid, you know, because it was like the information was highly curated, you know, and you know it was coming from a place that was, like, very scientifically founded, you know, but these days it's just like this whole generation of couple now, actually, of people who are just being exposed to, like, this cesspool of just, like, this soup of just information that is the internet. That's just, like, how do they even, like, that's got to be, like, insanity inducing, I would think, to have never had any stable, you know, understanding of. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say at this point. Like, I can't really think or articulate what I was.
I think in my mind, one of the biggest problems is we are not using our critical thinking skills to discern whose opinion is more important than someone else's opinion. We're no longer respecting experts. We're no longer respecting, you know, time and service. You know, 30,000 hours of discipline studying something doesn't matter anymore if we can just find something that contradicts that on the internet and we feel like that's more important. You know, I hear people saying all the time, you know, you'll quote an authority of something and they'll say, oh, that's a fallacy. You ever heard the fallacy appeal to authority fallacy? Well, I finally just looked it up. It's the how can me believing a doctor's opinion, yes, your stupid fucking opinion, that I would trust a doctor's opinion more than yours, Joe Schmo, right? And so I looked it up, and appealed authority, it's a fallacy that occurs
when someone cites an authority figure to support an argument. God, it's so fucking frustrating. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, so can everyone hear me? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you're good now. You're clear now.
Okay. Okay, so appeal to authority fallacy. It's a fallacy to appeal to authority under certain circumstances. This doesn't mean it's a fallacy to appear to any authority. It's a fallacy to appear. It occurs when someone cites an authority figure to support an argument without considering whether the authority is actually an expert in this specific field, or if the authority is biased. So those are two reasons to consider that appealing to an authority could be a fallacy. However, the biased one is really easy for someone to claim. Like, if they don't agree with you, you just claim they're biased, and now it's an appeal to authority. But the reality is, if you're saying that 9 out of 10 doctors say that the vaccine is generally safer than it is dangerous, then believing 9 out of 10 doctors is not an appeal to authority fallacy. Because 9 out of 10 doctors represent a group of people that are experts. And if they're biased from like a high level. Like, you're talking about and if that's the case, then we're all fucked anyway. Like, you can say that. You can say that, like, I don't know, you're hearing about pharmaceuticals from somebody in the pharmaceutical industry, and they've been in the industry a long time, and it's appeal to authority because they are biased. Well, if you're talking about, you know, the family that pushed OxyContin on the entire world, well, yes, for sure. That's a good example of if you're appealing to them to say OxyContin is good because they say it is and they create it, they are biased. They have an agenda and they're making money off of it. But 9 out of 10 doctors who swear to, like, take care of people and to uphold life as a valuable thing, things like that, they're probably not grouping together to hurt us. So I just want people to think harder about what is an appeal to authority fallacy and what is an appeal to authority common sense good idea. Because if you're arguing flat earth with an astronaut, you're a fucking idiot. It's not an appeal to authority fallacy. You know? And so I just feel like that's where we're losing track, is the difference between that. And then we throw out these words like appeal to authority. And then eventually you hear it so many times, so when you hear it, you just, you ignore it. You bypass it. You don't even consider that what you're being told is true. It's kind of like gaslighting. Like, the word was used so fucking much now that if somebody's really gaslighting and you call them out on it, everybody goes, oh, God. And it's like, but guys, you're ignoring it's actually happening.
Or changing of definitions. How about the changing of definitions?
Yeah, that too. So it's like, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, guys. Like, if you're being gaslit, you need to fucking know what it means. You need to be able to identify when it's really happening and when people are saying it's happening and it's not. Don't just get so annoyed because you have short-term memory and you're tired of hearing the word used. You know what I mean? Like, these are things I see happening, and it drives me crazy because basically all of it represents a lack of critical thinking. It's what it represents.
Or annual and semi-annual vaccine therapies.
Well, if you think about it, though, Mike, like, critical thinking skills are sometimes, pretty much always something that you have to kind of develop over time after, you know, being exposed to false information enough times that it causes you to kind of, like, start to appeal more to your own judgment, you know what I mean, of a situation and your own discernment than, you know, whatever. Because there's a ton of fucking misleading information out there, man. You know, people who are, like, who actively, like, profiting, like, as a way of, like, engagement, generation for their posts. They'll post shit that's, like, intentionally misleading and false, just because it triggers within certain people's minds the need to want to, like, jump into the comments and, like, correct the information, right? Now you fucking created a conversation in the comments, right? So, like, people are constantly being exposed to all this fucking information, and you want to throw fucking AI into the mix. Now shit's getting really confusing, you know? So in a way, the current landscape of the internet, do you think that it's possible that is kind of has the potential to create people, or to catalyze people developing better critical thinking skills?
You mean to? I don't know what you meant by that word, but you mean to create more critical thinking skills, or to diminish the current?
It's catalyzing, the development of critical thinking skills on a mass level, because just to be able to fucking effectively navigate the internet, you have to be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's not at this point.
Yes, but let me add to that. In order to do that,
it's like the whole necessity is the mother of all invention type of argument. It's like due to the fact
Joseph. But let me add one second thing to that before you add to it. In order to do that, in order to use critical thinking, you have to be able to hold two opposing realities in your brain at the same time and consider both of them as possible. This is where people fail. They're willing to actually hold two things in their concepts at the same time in order to compare and contrast them long enough with examples to back up what they're seeing to lead them one way or another. They come into it predetermined to only accept one of the two ideas as possible. And then they don't critical think, because if they were forced with critical thinking, they'd be forced to accept considering the reality that they're wrong. Remember, we are at most 50% right. At most. You're never more than 50% right. For every single thing you think is true, there's somebody else that thinks it's completely true too. And there's arguably no way to prove it. So if you're wrong half the time, imagine that. And I do think of this all the time in my own mind. When I believe something, when I think something's just dead true, I question, is this the 1 out of 2 that I'm wrong? How many people do that? You have to hold yourself accountable. You're wrong half the time. Period.
Well,
if you're even talking about something that's objective, which more things are than we give credit for, to be honest with you.
I agree with what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is that a person has to be wrong enough times to the point where they have to fucking suffer the consequences of being wrong enough times. That's what makes a person start to fucking double think twice, and be like, okay, maybe I'm not wrong 100%, maybe I'm not right 100% of the time, So and I just think that the landscape of the internet is as such that just people's basic kind of personal engagement with even just Instagram or YouTube, it's it's making it so that you have to fucking start to kind of really do a lot of comparing and contrasting between different kinds of things that you're being exposed to, different kinds of information that you're being exposed to, because that it's either real or it's fucking AI, So due to the fact that AI is so prevalent on the internet these days, it's going to catalyze the effect of people having to fucking hold in their mind at any given time that something is either AI or it's this, right? So that has the capacity to kind of catalyze this kind of emergence, or this kind of collective awakening of people's critical thinking skills, is kind of the theory that I'm positing a little.
But if your point is that you have to be proven wrong enough times and suffer the consequences to recognize that you should reconsider whether you're not right all the time, I would argue that it's more difficult than ever to be proven wrong, because now there's too many places you can go to buddy up with people who will tell you you're right, and to find alternative facts that will support what you want to think. That we're not being proven wrong enough to actually learn the lessons and to consider that we are wrong half the time. I think that is really the biggest problem with the internet, is that you can literally convince yourself you're right no matter what you believe. There's always somebody else that's going to agree with you, and unless you remain so open-minded that you're willing to consider that there's a whole group of people that are wrong along with yourself, you're not going to suffer any consequences. You're just going to align yourself with the people that agree with you. That's what people are doing. That's why politics are more polarized than ever.
Music of light.
I'm going to jump in real quick just to say hey to Io and to Marshall, because I hadn't got to say hey to them yet. Sorry. Io is so succinct. All right, y'all continue on. I'm sorry, Mike.
What's up? That's